How you doing? It's the evening, day 2. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
They're out there. Everybody's feeling like they'd like a little food now. They're a little sleepy. The feet are kind of hurting, but we've still got some really great content for you guys. So I'm Tara Bennett. I'm a senior producer for SYFY WIRE. And at home, they're watching on the live stream, or if you guys are here, make sure you're checking us out at #It'sAFanThing and #ECCC. But we have a lovely guest with us this afternoon. We're going to talk about Kickstarter. And so Camilla Zhang is here, and she is the comics outreach lead at Kickstarter. And obviously, you know, I'm sure, how many of you guys have like put money into a Kickstarter as in you wanted to support something? Yep, that we've got us a couple. But there's also the other end of it too, which is, how do you start a campaign? So many people here, not only are they trying to look at new art and support, you know, other makers of things, but there are people that gotta go, how do I get my foot in the door? What do I do? Is Kickstarter something that I should be thinking about, investing in, putting my time in? And Camilla's gonna talk to us about how that happens. Okay. So you've been with the company now for a year.
Yeah, roughly.
So tell me a little bit about what you do at Kickstarter, and how we'll talk then about how that kind of translates to advice for you guys out there.
Okay, well, day to day, like, you know, get in, check email, blah, blah, blah. But most of those emails involve like, hey, can you take a look at my campaign page to like let me know if I'm doing everything right? And I do offer project feedback on people's campaigns before they launch. That's definitely key. You gotta reach out to me before you launch your project. And then like coming to conventions, it's meeting artists, meeting creators where they, you know, where they all can convene in one place. So like exchanging business cards and basically letting them know that I'm a resource for them if they ever want to launch a Kickstarter. I also do panels and workshops, just to try my best to educate people and let them know like where they can find the best resources and how to just put their best foot forward. And then I also do things like curate the comics and illustration page, which has like, you know, the project of the day, but also has like genres. So like I go through every single project and tag things accordingly to whether it's action adventure superheroes or horror or mystery or romance. It gets tagged appropriately so that like different people can, like different backers can find the kinds of stories that they want more easily, you know, like instead of fishing through projects we love, which is all, you know, great projects, but let's say you're just, you know, you really want a mystery, so you're gonna go for Dead Deception by Kel McDonald, you know, something like that.
Well, that's really cool because not only are you kind of helping with those that are figuring out how to put their stuff out there, you're also curating what's out there. You're seeing the spectrum of the creators that are out there that are trying to get their stuff out there. So because you get to do a lot of feedback, and maybe some of people are thinking, hey, if I were to start a campaign, what's the most efficient and effective kind of feedback that I can get from the top? What are some things that you see, either do's or don'ts, where you go, oh no, that's an easy one, right up the top, make sure you do these or don't do these?
The biggest don't is, and you would be surprised how many people do this, but so many comics campaigns launch with just one image, just one. And this is comics, it's really a visual medium. You have to show people what you're capable of. You know, if you had a small goal, like say a couple $100, and you just wanted to do a small print run, maybe you wouldn't have to put as much effort into your project page because you're really counting on friends and family. But if you wanted to get a bigger audience, you really have to show the goods. So I always recommend, so for example, if you're gonna be pitching to publishers like Image or, you know, Oni Press or any of the kind of like more indie publishers, you're gonna have to do the first 6 pages anyway. You know, if you're a writer, you need to hire an artist to do the first 6 pages. You need to put together a log line and a synopsis. And basically the Kickstarter project page is that. It's like, it's giving people a preview of the work. It's explaining the story in the, like via a log line, which is basically your log line would be the subtitle of the project page. So it's just, you got to have imagery and you got to know how to talk about your project in 1 to 2 sentences.
And that's a really important thing because some people get really shy. You know, you make your work and you're also shy about putting, how do I put up a page that shows off my work? You know, all of a sudden people start going, well, I don't want to put that up, or maybe it's too showy. But this is your opportunity to show exactly what you want to do. Think about it. If you're looking up something online and there's a bad product description, you're going to go, I don't know what that is and I'm not going to buy it. Same thing with Kickstarter. You have to be your own biggest advocate, and you have to be the best person that's going to pitch it is the person that knows it. So you have to really put it out there.
Exactly.
Let's talk about a little, you know, some people do have very modest goals, but some people have bigger goals, you know. Do you find that, especially with new creators, because there may be people here that are going, like, listen, I've never had anybody buy my work before, this is where I'm thinking about maybe launching it. What are some of the goals that you feel are doable with new and discovery artists?
So I think that people have this misconception about Kickstarter that it's, you know, kind of a money pot. You just go there and then money magically appears. That's really not the case. The money comes from your community, and you really need to nurture that community. So Hope Nicholson has a really great blog article out there on bedsidepress.com, and she talks about how to break down a comics budget based off of print run. And you know,
That's
basically, you got to estimate how many people can I realistically bring to this Kickstarter. And you know, I believe the median goal is like, the median goal amount is like $4,000, which is not a lot, you know, like when you think about it. And so you can't compare yourself to the people who raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're not them, you know, like most of the people who do raise that much start off as webcomics. And so that they've built up that audience already. And so that when they bring it to Kickstarter, they tend to overfund. But if you are just new to it, you gotta think about how many people can I realistically bring to this project. If it is 25 people, multiply that by 25, add a few, like a little bit of buffer room, you know, because life happens, things go wrong, nothing's perfect, you know. So that's how I would estimate your goal. Base it on the number of people you think you can bring in.
So a good thing is, you know, back in the day when Kickstarter was out there, the algorithms and the metrics were different. You could get more people to see things, and now if you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to link through Facebook, or maybe I'll just, you know, post my link to my Kickstarter on Twitter, you know, there's so many things that kind of work against people now, getting to purely see your links. And so building community is a really important thing. And so where do you guys suggest the best place now to build community is, so that you're not kind of having all of the digital metrics work against you, and that you can do that?
So, believe it or not, email marketing still works. Email's still a thing. It is the strongest driver of pledges. So the best way you can build community is by going to conventions, meeting people who share similar interests to you, who are, you know, working on similar stories, who share your style, and just getting to know them and trying to contribute to the community as well. Online and offline. And if you are tabling at a convention, like start small, start with the smaller conventions, and have a sign-up list for your newsletter. Like, if you don't have a newsletter like that you do that often, like think of what's that Tiny Letter? Tiny Letter is like kind of a lower stakes thing, and you don't have to put a lot of content on the newsletter as long as you're communicating regularly and have that sign-up sheet with you at the convention table. You know, that way, that's how you're gonna build contact and more intimate connections with the people in your community.
That's really smart, because you're seeing more and more places now asking for people to sign up for the email subscribers and getting the newsletters. Is there anything, you know, is there an analog benefit to even like coming and doing postcards for some of your work as you're walking around a con nowadays, so that there's a takeaway, so that people, you know, look in their bags and go, oh God, I remember that was a really nice piece of art.
A postcard or a business card like that has something really special and unique to your style. If you're a writer, you know, maybe think of an interesting logo, something that just feels memorable, something that you would actually remember yourself, you know?
Those are all really smart things, you know. And then basically, when you are thinking of making your own campaign, what are the things? So we want as much art as possible. We want the log line that's really strong, a nice description of what it is. Is there anything else that you feel you should have ahead of time, so that if someone were to come to you down the pike and say, hey, can I have some feedback? This is something you'd say in that feedback anyway.
I would actually, while project imagery is very important, don't put too much up there, because like people, you know, long scroll, it's just like people can't scroll down deep enough for all the information. You just want to make sure your top 3 to 6 images are there, and then you want to so the top information is what it is that you're making, what is the story about. Then it's like a few maybe preview images, and then it's about you and who you are and why you made it. You know, like you want to make sure that the reason why you're doing this is clear.
And that passion
and
reflected,
connects with people,
It's anything that kind of pulls people's heartstrings and they can go, oh, I relate to that. I think helps a whole lot in your copy. You know, really explain why something's been in your head for a long time, where it's coming from, and then immediately people will take more interest in it. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, vulnerability-wise, in terms of your passion, because I think people respond to that really well. Yeah, they want that human connection. So if you guys are thinking about doing your own campaign, what you can do is go to creators.kickstarter.com/publishing-tools-and-resources. And that's a whole toolkit. You can go in, start looking at the materials, figuring out how you want to put that together. But Camille, thank you so much for this really, really great advice. And hopefully you guys go out there, take your talents, and decide to go and give it a try. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great afternoon. Have a good afternoon, guys. Bye. Make sure you stick around. Wes Craig draws live. We've got some art coming up for you, so stick around. Thanks.